Last week, you all may have noticed that we did not do a Monday night YouTube edition of the RCWR Show. There was no podcast edition last Tuesday. There wasn't even an edition of Extra posted on our YouTube channel over the weekend. All of a sudden, you might have noticed we just pretty much went MIA on the shows. I pretty much took a sabbatical. It was by choice, but your man over here has been going through some rough shit. Let me be brutally honest with you. I've been going through some rough shit. And honestly, you know, I'm a man that is very, very private. I don't really like to speak about what's going on in my personal life and all that, but that's part of our show creed model here. Always keeping it honest, always keeping it insightful, keeping it interactive. And I gotta keep it honest with you guys. You know, for the past several months, me and the girlfriend, we have just been going through financial woes. I mean, we've got bills that's piling up. I mean, who doesn't in North America have bills piling up and all that? Credit card debt, all that stuff. And, you know, it's just been really, really cumbersome for me and the little lady. And it just got to a point where everything just had reached a breaking point last week. And my girlfriend, she was seeing things that I was not even really aware of that I was doing, which was in a negative fashion, if you will. And if I gotta be brutally honest, the way that I had been operating for several months, it was just basically my work, the shows. Somewhere towards the bottom of the list was my relationship, basically, with my woman. It was like a last priority or whatnot. And it was just so weird how I had everything just set up. And like, meanwhile, I'm not even really opening my eyes and seeing this, but my girl has just been moving heaven and earth to try to make things financially be good for us. You know, she has a really good side job doing her Mary Kay and all that. And I mean, she is just freaking awesome when it comes to that stuff and everything. But it just kind of reached a breaking point for her where she really wasn't sure exactly just what type of man was she with. She saw the great strides that I've made over the years in our relationship to become a better person. But there's just this one little nagging thing that she just kept seeing where to her it really came off as if I wasn't really being a equal partner to her financially. And I gotta tell you, as a man, the last thing any man wants to hear is criticism about themselves and the way that they're operating, the way that they're conducting themselves, especially if they are in denial. And this was like really the first time I ever got hit with a true dose of reality. And I told my girl, I said, look, I love you so much. You've made me a better person. I just can't imagine how my life would have been until you came along. And, you know, there isn't anything that I wouldn't do for you. I would move heaven and earth if I could. I'd do whatever. You know, it got very emotional and all that. And, you know, I told her, I said, look, you know, you just give me one more chance to, you know, try to make things right. You know, I only know what's going on with me on the outside. You know, you just come up to me and you tell me, you know, when it's all said and done, when it comes to relationships, it's all about communication. And when you don't have that communication, it can't be a one-way street. It's got to come both ways. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That way you could kind of beat that middle ground and all that. And, you know, long story short, you know, I told my girl, I said, look, you know, I want to just dust my hands off of my old ways of thinking, and I want to just embrace the future, a future with you. I'd love to marry you one day. I'd love for you to be the mother of my kids. I want to do any and everything to make things work. And, you know, eventually there was a reconcile. And, I got to tell you, I have a really good paying job. I work in market research, but the money, it just really isn't enough because unfortunately the way that I'm working, it's pretty much when it's white hot, it's white hot, but there are periods where work gets so slow. And unfortunately, when work gets slow, bills ain't getting paid. You know what I'm saying? So part of embracing a better future, a better tomorrow, has been trying to find a better job, especially one that gives me health benefits, all that stuff. I don't mean to bore you guys. I'm just keeping it real with you all. So on top of reinforcing my relationship with my woman, I'm also in the process of trying to find a better paying job that has the health benefits, paid sick time, vacation, the whole 9 yards, while I'm still working for the current employer that I'm working for. So, I mean, that's part of it. Now, some of you guys may be like, well, how exactly does this kind of tie into the shows? Well, that's actually what we're getting ready to talk about right now. So, unless you were following us on Twitter and Facebook, you probably didn't see this. But I basically had said Monday night that for the foreseeable future, there will no longer be any more YouTube live Monday editions of the RCWR show. Now, some people, they looked at this and they were like, oh man, that frickin' sucks. That's a bad move. What the hell? Other people, hey, whatever, man. It's all good. Support you either way, man. Hope everything works out okay. So that was not an easy decision to make. Let me tell you, a lot of factors went into that decision being made. Number one, I'm wired. I'm like always wired late at night. If I take a melatonin right now, at a decent hour for me, I could probably get to bed by maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. If I do not take a melatonin, I am just wired. Even if I could just be laying in the bed trying to sleep, I'm wired. My brain just does not stop going. I mean, it's just constantly just going. I want to just be up and I want to be doing different things or whatever. So if I'm lucky, and this is without melatonin, if I don't take any melatonin, no type of sleep aid, if I'm lucky, I may end up sleeping for like an hour and then I got to get up at whatever time in the morning to go to work. So that's not really good. That's not really healthy. A lot of times Monday night when I end the show, I'm so wired up. And the last thing I want to do is take melatonin or some type of sleep aid like right before I go live on the air, because then if I start to get drowsy or whatever, that's not good for you guys, because you probably won't end up hearing some of the stuff that I'm saying. I'm going to look out of it, all that shit. All right. So part of the reason why I'm not doing the Monday night shows anymore is so that I can get to bed at a decent hour, so that I can get up and I can function properly in the morning. Heaven forbid when those nights come where there's a pay-per-view on a Sunday night and then I'm on until whatever time, midnight, 12:30, 1, it just depends. And then I come back a handful of hours later that Monday night going into Tuesday morning doing the same thing. And then, yeah, we got the podcast on Tuesday nights. We come on at 10, but sometimes it'll go until midnight or whatever. So that's the main reason why I'm ending the Monday night live YouTube shows is health. First and foremost, health. And like I said, it wasn't an easy decision to make. I talked to my girl about it and she was like, honestly, if it's affecting your health like that, then, you gotta really start looking out for yourself. You're not getting any younger. It's really time that you start listening to your body. Your body needs rest. So I mean, just picture that, I come home, I have a bite to eat. I'm pretty much taking notes, watching the show, interacting. I'm never really resting. Not even when the show is over and then I'm live on the air. I may look like I'm very relaxed and everything like that, but I'm just constantly in go mode pretty much all the way until the show is over. So health definitely is the number one priority. Second of all, just being able to, I can't stress this enough. Since I was on a sabbatical last week it just really made me appreciate more those little things in life. It really made me feel like I was finally living life again. You know, I don't expect for a lot of you guys to really understand that, especially if you've never done the whole podcasting thing and all that. But I mean, those of you that's been with us for a long time, you know that originally when we first started, we did a Monday night show. There was a Tuesday night show. There was a Thursday night show, and there was a Saturday night show. So we did 4 shows a week when we first started back in 2011. Heaven forbid there was a pay-per-view night, then we would actually do 5 shows a week. I mean, it was just grueling nonstop. I mean, eventually we trimmed it, you know, but even at that, it's like, just because I'm not doing anything with the show on this day, I'm always doing something else, you know. And when I had my sabbatical last week, I just really was able to take a step back and just really look at the little things. And for me, those little things are catching up with the person that I love very much, and just whether it's going out together to grab a bite to eat, or in the case of what we did over the weekend, we took her dad out for Father's Day, which was a really enjoyable time, a lot of fun, to just, hey, I'm going down here, I gotta drop off something, do you want to tag along? Just those little things that I missed and cherished so much. Also, the little things, again, catching up on my home. You know, my home has been neglected because I've just been so like in work mode, and then I'm in podcast mode. I'm always thinking about what's going to happen with the next show, and so much neglect happened as a result of that. And taking care of home has experienced the most neglect just as far as upkeep goes and everything. And I got to tell you, it felt so damn good these past couple of days, just doing the simple things, you know, catching up on yard work, or mowing the lawn, or, you know, something that I meant to take a hammer and nail to a while back, and I finally had the opportunity to take care of it. You know, just those little things. So I know this move probably is not a popular one. I know some of you guys probably, you know, don't like it, you know, but I mean, look, there are a lot of great YouTube, personalities that's out there. There are just so many Raw review people that's on there, and, brings me to another point, which was a small factor actually, but this was part of the decision to can the Mondays. So many Monday nights, Raw has been lackluster. It's like, wow, how can I even try to come on and even try to sound jubilant about what I just sat through for 3 hours, when I am just ready to like turn off the TV, get into bed, wrap my arm around my woman, and just call it a night. All right. So many weeks that have gone by where it is just excruciating to watch. This week alone, I have a couple of issues with WWE Raw that I'd like to talk about in just a little bit. But, you know, that was a small factor. Another factor that had kicked in. The other thing that had kicked in, another small factor, the viewership support. The viewership, I just can't put my finger on it. But I mean, when I first started doing the Raw recap shows and all that on YouTube, I mean, it was a booming business, I mean, my average constantly was anywhere between 15,000 to 20,000 views every single week. That's just off one Raw review, and I was getting that every single week. So many people, they like, hey, that should be me, that should be me, that needs to be me. That's the mentality. It's like, oh, you know, I don't agree with what he's saying, and I'm gonna do it too. And it's like, there's just so many YouTube reviewers that's on there, and it's like, that's all fine and dandy. It's nice to have that variety and all that. But who really is gonna give it to you straight? who really knows what the hell they're talking about when they're on there? And unfortunately, there's only but a handful of people that is on there that will give it to you the way it needs to be broken down to you, and do it in a way where it's not boring, where it's energetic, where it's in some remote fashion, it has some type of charisma to it and all that. And I'm proud to say that I was one of those few people that would always try to put all those factors into those review shows. So, but at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense, literally, when you have over 10,000 subscribers on YouTube and you're only averaging like anywhere between 500 to like over 1,000, or like 1,500 if you're lucky. That's 1,500. And yet you have 10,000 subscribers. Now, I'm not saying there should be an automatic, hey, I do this video, I should have 10,000 views. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you have 10,000 subscribers, out of that 10,000, at bare minimal, you should be coming out of there almost creeping at like 3,000 views per video, even if you were to launch a new series, you know. But so many factors go into the whole YouTube game and all that, you know, at this point, I just need a break from all that shit. Now, look, I'll still come on YouTube when it's the night of a pay-per-view. We'll still come on. We'll still be live for you guys. If it was a monumental episode of Raw, something that like is going to have a lot of people talking, something that's going to have the wrestling community in a buzz for that week, I will definitely talk about it. But, you know, until those little scenarios come about, I'm not going to be doing Monday night shows for a good. As far as I'm concerned, I'm on a break for the foreseeable future. I'm on a break. Now, look, that could change. I may bring it back in the fall, and maybe we do some type of a season premiere, season finale type of deal. We'll see how it goes. But the way it stands right now, it is on a indefinite hiatus, at least until further notice. So I hope that clears things up, right there on, my crazy life, everything that's been going on, thus far. But make no mistake about it, going forward, I told my girl this, and I am feeling right now going forward, I care about God. I care about my soon-to-be wife, my family. I care about my health. I care about my well-being. I care about making sure that my family is taken care of, whether that is financially, emotionally, spiritually. Going forward, I'm definitely going to be doing a better job to make sure that I honor all of those things, and that I am there for my girl, my family, when they need me the most. And if that means that ultimately I'm going to have to stop doing these shows altogether, I will make that sacrifice if I need to. Whether some of you all like that or not, you know, that's just called, you know, I'm a young man with responsibilities. You know, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm not in my 20s. As of this year, I'll be turning 35. So, you know, I really got to start, you know, it's time to grow up, you know, got to start focusing on the future and all that. But, you know, until a situation like that occurs and all that, I'm here. Let's have some fun.